Trotman boxing. Trotman. Hey.
How you guys doing?
Oh, we're good, brother. You just been hanging there, not saying anything?
Yeah, just been hanging out, enjoying the convo.
Oh, shit. Well, thank you, brother. Appreciate you for coming on. It's been a minute, but we need to make some money.
Yeah, there we
So,
go.
who should we be looking at this weekend, man? What's the where's the money at?
Ooh, where do you want to start? Is there a fight you're like really interested in particular?
Yeah. Actually, Burchell, he's gotten knocked out by a Colombian. Then obviously he went on a good little run, got the belt, beat Francisco Vargas and a couple others, but then suffered a loss at the hands of
Oscar Valdez.
And we didn't get to see too much from Nakatilia, right? Like he kind of was negated by Shakur, but rumored to be a puncher. I mean, can he bring back those ghosts to Burchell, or is this an easy one for Burchell?
I think it's the latter. I think it's probably an easier one for Burchell. I mean, one thing that I think is interesting here is like this is billed as Burchell's lightweight debut, but it's Nakatila's as well. Like if you look at his career, Nakatila's also fought at the lower weight classes. I think going the distance with Shakur is like a nice achievement for him, but that's a different animal from Miguel Burchell, who's like always going for the knockout. You know, Shakur is happier to bank rounds and look good and kind of play it safer, especially in a spot like this where he needs to kind of reclaim his credibility after that loss to Valdez. I think Burchell, goes after him here. I think it's a pretty favorable matchup. You could take the knockout, but what I like is the under 7.5 rounds. That seems to me like something where Burchell could get that done with potentially rounds to spare.
Nice. Any other ones that, seem safe for you?
As far as safe bets, it's kind of crazy to be talking about a fighter like this, but Ebanie Bridges, I really like her matchup against Maria Cecilia Roman.
Me too, man. I'm actually upset that Roman's in this fucking fight. She lost to Odessa. She shouldn't be champ. They didn't the freaking, what was it? The WBA, whatever belt she has, didn't want to approve Odessa because she only had 4 fights. Odessa beats her. Now this girl's in the fight with Bridges. So it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I thought she put up a pretty decent fight against Odessa, like close decision.
Yep.
In my opinion, at least. But, Bridges is like one thing there's a lot of flaws with her fundamentally, and she's not the most athletic, but like one thing you can't take away from her is that strength, that powerlifting background. She's going to be so much stronger than this girl. Roman, 0 knockouts, like no pop on her punches. I think she navigates the ring pretty well. But Ebanie is just going to like walk her down, in my opinion. I think she's going to hold her against the ropes whenever she wants. The knockout at, I think it was like plus 550. I think it's going to be fairly live to connect here. And I just think there's still some meat on the bone as far as her money line goes. So do you guys still use like MyBookie primarily?
I do right now, man.
Yeah. So that minus 165 line for Bridges is fine to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can also like pair that with something else you might like this weekend. So either straight up or by parlay, I think Bridges gets it done for sure.
Nice. I like the Ocampos and Zuski fight. Is Zuski a sleeper? I mean, they have him as a favorite. And he's obviously been in with the better opposition, but as far as I can remember, he's always lost to the better opposition.
Well, he was up on the scorecards when Mean Machine knocked him out, kind of interestingly. The thing that deters me from Ocampo, because I kind of wanted to take the dog's dab here, but his level of competition after the Spence loss is just suspect to me. Like, I don't know why he's had so many fights in Tijuana against subpar opposition. I mean, it's been years and years since he's fought on the national scale. So I don't know if those fights are going to prepare him to fight someone like Zuski, especially in Zuski's backyard. And just looking at MyBookie for you guys and like seeing that they've got full props. One thing that I like, Zuski by decision at plus 210. I mean, you're getting $2 of value from his money line because his money line is minus 130. I like that quite a bit. I mean, I think Zuski is someone who's going to go rounds. I don't know if he's going to come out here looking for blood or to like knock Ocampo out, or if he can even necessarily do that because he's coming up in weight. So plus 210, that seems like a bit of a steal to me.
Wait. Zuski's coming up in weight? This is at 54?
I believe so. I think
wow, you're right.
Yeah. I think this is either his debut or it's like one of his first fights in a new
Nah,
weight.
this is his third. This will be his second fight at 54, but damn, when did that happen?
I mean, it makes sense after you like suffer kind of a barbaric KO like Mean Machine. Same deal with Burchelt, I guess. If you like get knocked out like that at a weight class, could just be time to move up, you know?
All right, so let me see how that looks with the parlay.
How do you see the Tim Tszyu and Terrell Gausha fight?
Yeah, big fight.
Tszyu a significant favorite. We didn't really see it going that way. I do favor Tszyu, but the odds just kind of caught my attention and just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like on my own here, but I think it's insane to be parlaying Tim Tszyu at his money line price right now. Like, I don't know what we've seen from him to warrant a line like that against someone like Terrell Gausha, like a former Olympian. You know, his pro career hasn't really set the world on fire, admittedly, but he's by far the best opponent Tim's fought in the pros. You know, if you look at like the best opposition Tim's fought, you're looking at a faded Jeff Horn. You're looking at like Steve Spark, like Australian regional competition, like Inoue, who, you know, is tough, but not much else. And then look at the guys Gausha has fought. Like his only losses are to, it was like Lubin and Lara, I believe.
Yeah.
Each of those guys, I don't know. That's a very competitive fight against Tszyu. They're probably favored over Tszyu, I would think. So people who are just like chucking Tszyu in parlays, I think are kind of getting whatever they deserve. But yeah, I would go Gausha on the money line, like for a small amount over playing Tszyu straight up for sure.
But is that just a gambler's bet or you calling for the upset?
No, it's you're playing the number. You're right.
Yeah.
Ness. Like, I'm just playing the number here. Like if I were to pick, like someone just asked me straight up, who do I think is going to win? Probably Tszyu. But do I think he wins 95% of the time, like his money line suggests? Like absolutely not.
Do you think would this be a fight that you could maybe bet the over? Do you think that this goes the distance?
They don't even. I can't stand my bookie. I can't wait for Bet Online. I promise you. Look, they don't even have prop bets for the biggest fight of the weekend. Shit is retarded.
I do like that. I do like goes the distance. I saw someone online had like goes the distance at -120. I think that's a sharp play. One other angle I like, if you can find this prop somewhere, it's fight to end in rounds 7 through 12. I think Bet365 had it at like +220. I think that's pretty good because you're covering either outcome. Either Tim might be able to beat down Gausha, who can fight kind of negatively at times, and wear him down, because I don't see someone like Terrell going out early if he does. And then let's say it goes disastrously for Tszyu, like his U.S. debut, he's getting picked off with counters, like fighting with his mouth open, like his eyes are getting shut, whatever. There's no guarantee he hears the finish line. So you're covering the possibility that Gausha just like has him covered and then stops him in the second half.
So you think regardless if there is a stoppage or a knockout, it would be in the second half of the fight?
Exactly. Like It's far more likely that Tszyu would be the one doing the stopping, but I think it happening in rounds 7 through 12, that's the kind of the sweet spot to me. I don't see an early KO here.
Okay.
How do you explain Gausha's KO over Gervonta Clark, who's been in the ring with some tough people, and then he's the one that's perceived to not be the puncher and gets the stoppage?
I mean, that was like a one-punch KO, which seems to me as a little less weird than when someone just like comprehensively beats an opponent down over like 12 rounds, let's say. Because Clark, if I recall, is just like real long and rangy. I think he just left his chin out there, and Gausha just caught him. It was like a kind of a 1 in a million outcome, but you know, Gausha can look after himself in there. Like nobody would confuse him with a knockout puncher, but he's also not feather-fisted. So Clark just let his guard down and paid for it. So it's a bit of a random outcome, but it makes sense to me.
Trot, did you find any odds for the Cesar Francis fight versus Muhammad Mumin? I think that's a sleeper fight. I've watched Cesar. He's been on the club level. I don't think he's gotten any TV time. He's Panamanian. This kid is no joke. Has he come across your radar?
That fight's on my radar, but we don't have odds. So all of the odds that we bet on, they all come from Bet365, which is based out of the UK.
Yeah.
They've not produced odds for that fight, but it's a good one, man. Like Moon's that guy who got robbed versus Tyrone McKenna a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real competent fighter. I'll be watching that fight. Unfortunately, we just don't have odds to bet on.
If you don't know, it's going to be on the Pro Boxing TV YouTube channel. Paulie Malignaggi will be calling the action with Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver, and they even got John Pascal in the building. They ain't playing to bring out the celebs.
It's a good crew.
Yeah. But Kiko, my co-host is picking Kiko. I don't know if it's because of his heart. Should we ride with Kiko at this beautiful 250 plus money? Because he would make my already sexy parlay with just Ebanie and Zuski. I got a 397. I feel like just locking that in.
Yeah. Kiko is the side here. Like, I don't know who is betting Josh Warrington straight up minus 325 or chucking him in parlays. Like, looked so bad against Lara. The first fight I thought was pretty fortunate to get that technical decision. The second fight from the head clash.
Wait. Did I hear you? So you're saying old Kiko is gonna win again?
Not he's going to, but if you're going to pick a betting side here, I don't know how you think Josh Warrington is. I don't know what minus 325 equates to, but it's like significantly greater than 50%. I don't think this is that type of fight. I think it's closer to a shootout. So Kiko, if you're going to bet this, I would back him. Let me direct.
Wow, he's 36 though, and he's got 326 rounds boxed. He can get overnight. He can get old overnight.
For sure. I think Warrington has deceptive mileage on his odometer too, considering I think he's like still in his 20s maybe, but Warrington's been in some fucking wars and he's been broken down and battered.
And you're right, because he has 242 rounds boxed with only 30 fights.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't see this being a fight where one guy looks old and the other guy looks like a spring chicken. I think it's going to be a kind of grueling affair. But here's a prop that's on my bookie that I would steer listeners to. Martinez by decision plus 2,500. Like, is that a ridiculous prop or what? I know he's fighting in leads. Totally unrealistic if that hits. But their last fight ended in a majority decision. Like, this could be a very close fight on scorecards, especially if Kiko picks up a knockdown or two. Then him winning by decision at 25-1, which is even better odds than by draw. I think that's pretty preposterous. So I don't know how people are not chucking like $20 on that or something.
On Kiko by decision?
Yeah.
Might have to put a little parlay together there.
He said 20 straight up. That's interesting. Let me see what 20 straight up would have been on Kiko.
It'd be like $500, right?
Yeah, $500 plus 2,500.
That's nice.
But
bro, if I do everything that not everything you've been saying, but kind of the people you're assuming as a parlay, Bridges, Zuski, and I got Zuski by decision, like you said. Mm-hmm. Martinez by decision, like you said. Jesus, that's like plus 128.44.
Oh yeah, buying a new house.
Buy a new house if you hit that shit, bro. What the hell?
Yo, let's go in on it.
$5 makes you $642 for 3 people.
I was gonna say $50, but let's go in on it.
Holy shit!
You said $5 get you how much?
Bridges just has to win. Zuski got to win by decision, and Kiko got to win by decision. But that is a motherfucking parlay. $50, like you a big spender. That's $1,400 plus
yeah,
your 50
but
back.
If 2 of those hit, but Bridges loses, like you're gonna feel like shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just think I'm leaning Bridges too, though. I think I know that Roman put up a good fight versus Odessa, but Odessa herself I think is 34, and Roman is old. I don't know. Bridges is just fresher, and maybe politics is gonna push her towards the win too because she's the house fighter and the prettier face.
Yo, I'm really thinking about putting some money on Kiko, like by decision.
Just a straight bet? Or parlayed it?
I might do both, honestly.
No, do it. We out here. We should go see what they got at the sports book.
No, it's worse.
It's always worse?
Worse. Boxing in the casino is a lot less limited than online betting.
You know, I ran across. Anyway, I got Trot on still. Try any other, I guess, any other ones that you are recommending? Any trout specials out there?
Yeah, let me throw one out there real quick just because it's this afternoon. And if anyone wants to tail, they've got time. But I think Dazn Zatechinen is pretty live against Lewis Ritson.
Really? Yeah, Ritson's been looking shitty, man.
Real shitty. I think he's another one of these guys like Warrington who is deceptively got some mileage and some scars, even though he's pretty young, because I think Ritson's like 28. And Zatechinen's older, so people might write him off. But Zatechinen's always got that dedicated body attack. I think he's a perfect height for Ritson because he's just going to target that midsection. And by contrast, it could be difficult for the taller Ritson to reach down and kind of clip Zatechinen coming in. I think also Zatechinen's last fight has aged pretty well. He fought, I'm spacing the dude's name, but Zaur Abdullayev.
Yeah.
And he made it to the final bell and he turned in a pretty good performance. And by contrast, Jorge Linares couldn't even make it to the final bell against Abdullayev.
Well, he got knocked out before that final bell.
Yeah.
That was a good fight, man. He was winning on my card.
I had Abdullayev winning in that fight entering the last round, but
what?
It was both out of the way. For sure. Yeah, I thought he was starting. The tide turned in that fight because Linares bossed rounds like 1 through 5 or 1 through 6.
Yeah, and then the second half of the fight, it was a second half of the fight that Abdullayev just came on and started to take over.
But yeah, I think Ritson could take an L here. I think, Abdullayev is considerably better than Ritson. Just looking through my bookie, any other spots people might like. I think Dalton Smith KOs Ray Moylett fairly easy. I know my bookie doesn't have props for that, but if you guys can find that anywhere else, because he's like, I think he was like minus 175 for the KO. Moylett just like really sketched to me. Took a pretty one-sided loss in 2018. Is on the sidelines for almost 3 years. His only action leading up to this fight was a 1-round KO win over some like journeyman. And now here he is fighting Dalton Smith, who's one of the UK's like best punching prospects. It just leads me to think he's not really serious about this fight or his in-ring return. So minus 175, I think is pretty good for Dalton Smith to get it done.
Let me ask you, I want to slide this in before you got to go. We had Lubin in here, and I'm kind of torn, man. I don't know. I want to ride with Lubin, but obviously I'm very biased. I've been covering him since fucking he was signed to Mike. So it's like, is he going to beat Fundora?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be close, but if I were to pick one of the sides, I think Lubin at evens is pretty solid. I mean, I think Lubin has the potential to be a belt holder someday in like a serious capacity, and I don't know if that possibility exists with Fundora. I just watched that last fight with Sergio Garcia, and like I was pretty disappointed with what I saw. Yeah. I thought he looked he was a bit of a front runner in that fight. I think if that fight was held in a neutral location, that judging could have been very different. Fundora just seems like a very fun TV fighter, and there's nothing wrong with him, and we need people like that in the sport. But I think Lubin is a bit more serious with his craft, and I think he's a bit more technically proficient. So, yeah, and he's also never been given trouble by people due to height or size disadvantages. So, yeah, if I were to pick a side, for sure, it's Lubin here.
Well, I think those are all that we got for right now. But as you already know, man, and I'm sure our co-producer has told you, we'd love to get you on. So just, let us know when. Give out your social media and any, links or locations you want to direct the audience to for any of your work and betting advice.
Yeah, of course, guys. First and foremost, thanks for having me back on. It's really appreciated. My social media on Twitter, at Trotman Boxing, Trotman Boxing. I do articles recapping or previewing the week's betting slate, and I also do a podcast. So just a lot of boxing betting content if that's your thing. And yeah, guys, thanks again for having me on.
Appreciate it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, some weekend betting advice. And at least we know, we didn't believe in Kiko in the last one, and he got the big come from behind upset knockout win over Galahad. I mean, it definitely seems like the right play. You know, if you're gonna sprinkle something, that $20 can go far.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.